Uh, Your Excellencies, distinguished members of the High Table, my colleagues, members of the National Assembly, our spiritual fathers. Basically, mine is agenda setting. And I want to talk from the bottom of my heart. That is why you can see that I don't hold a prepared speech. But I want to say that our journey started with the adoption of what is now popularly known in Nigeria as the SYMFONI ticket by the APC. Before that happened, the church, through CAN, of course, had came out. They came out with a position which was later reinforced by a group of Christians from the 19 northern states who were in the APC, where we held meetings upon meetings, and we had a summit. And in that summit, we decided clearly that because of our vision of a united Nigeria, our vision involving both men and women of all faiths, Christians, Muslims, even those who do not subscribe to any creed, uniting to build this country in a way that guarantees peace and prosperity, there was no way we could support the position of the APC. And as such, we came up with a communique that addresses the need for us to do a wider consultation to reach out to our Muslim sisters and brothers, and for us to invent a way by which all of us will coalesce around what we then called a pan-Nigerian platform. That by the grace of God, if we're able to midwife it and push it across the finish line, it will better serve our collective interests as Nigerians for peace, for unity, for progress, for development of this great country. And no sooner that we had concluded that exercise, we had what was known then as the Interfaith Summit, which took place at the Air Force Conference Center around Kado. And the highlight of that meeting was that we decided we were going to form a technical committee of both Christians and Muslim Christian leaders in the North who will sit down and articulate the position of the parties that had pan-Nigerian platforms on their tickets, that were inclusive in their tickets, apart from the APC. And I will draw contrast before I take my seat with just two nations. Rome, the Roman Empire, as we all know, has been the most powerful in human history. There's no empire on earth that has risen to be greater than the Roman Empire. None. But Rome was not defeated by an invading army. Rome merely collapsed from within on account of divisions, on account of fiefdoms rising against each other, and so on and so forth. And that was what led to the collapse of the greatest empire ever built by mankind. It was division that destroyed Rome. Then we come to a country in Africa, Rwanda, for instance. Look at what ethnic divisions caused in Rwanda: the genocide. It is something that has been a scar on our conscience as Africa and a scar on the conscience of the world. But you see, on the flip side, what is the lesson that we can draw from Rwanda? In as much as division brought Rwanda down, Rwanda is back on its feet again. And as a matter of fact, within decades, Rwanda, I think, represents the major promise in Africa. Rwanda is outperforming its peers and is even punching above its weight category. Why? Because the emphasis in Rwanda right now is on unity, unity. If you mention the word Tutsi or Hutu in Rwanda, it is regarded as criminally divisionist. You could even be charged for crime. They say we are all Rwandans, sorry. So when it was Hutu and Tutsi, they couldn't build a civilization. But now that they are united as Rwandans, go to Kigali, and you describe Kigali as a miracle in Africa right now. I believe some of us have been there. So these two scenarios I have painted, which is true in every material sense, are pointers to us as to what will happen to our country if we fail to unite our people and develop this country. And the most dangerous thing to toy with is not even ethnicity, it's religion. If religion war ever breaks out in this country, God forbid, that will be the end of Nigeria as we know it. So some of us are seated here and we listen to dangerous vitriol of people saying, oh, a section of Nigeria kills people, and as such, all women and men that belong to that section are disqualified to hold leadership position. We listen to those things and laugh. We listen to people who talk about religion in a sense that they pass dangerous stereotypes about whether it is Christianity or Islam, and we listen to it and laugh. But you see, in some cases, we even think they are crazy. I've heard people say to me, oh no, there's no way I can ever support a Fulani man, for instance. I'm just giving an example, because the Fulanis are killing people. But you see, sometimes we forget easily about history. We've had, for instance, President Shehu Shagari in the past. Who can ever describe that great Nigerian as a terrorist, for instance? We've had President Umaru Musa, Shehu Musa Yar'Adua. I believe he's Fulani in every material sense. That man was as cool as cucumber. And I'm saying this from the bottom of my heart. I believe, even though it was a short, very brief moment of romance, but I believe we lost a great man because I worked closely with him, and he could easily have passed as the best president this country has ever produced. I've always said this, when the challenge of Niger Delta was there, he's not from Niger Delta. You know, nobody knew what to do with it until he came on board and said, no, we cannot allow our people to continue killing themselves. What was therefore a regional problem, President Yar'Adua elevated it to a national problem. And it was only through that we were able to find solution to the problem, to the, insurgency in the Niger Delta. Unfortunately, we have been unable to replicate that with the crisis in the northern part of Nigeria, especially northeast and northwest, we've not been able to elevate it to a national problem that requires national solution. So the point I was trying to make, I will go back there as I close, about those who are passing dangerous statements relating to hate, and those who will want to kill ourselves because we do not belong to the same tribe or same religion. And I was saying, we may think they are crazy. Yes, they are crazy, but they are dangerous. And the truth is that if good people like you and I do not rise up to stop them, they will truly succeed in destroying this nation that we cherish so much. So we have an obligation to rise against those dangerous voices of hate and stereotype. And not just to rise against them, but to quieten them so that all of us collectively can make history and build this country. Someone recently said to me, if you don't subscribe to the APC code and support Tinubu, people would think you don't like Muslims. I said, no, that is not what I'm looking at. I'm looking at Nigeria. I'm looking at unity. I'm looking at a government that can pass as, legitimate to virtually every Nigerian. I said, if the question was the same faith ticket involving a Christian ticket, I might even do more in opposing that ticket, because I believe that it doesn't tally with my vision of a greater Nigeria. So if we are opposed to it, it's not that we are not Muslims or we hate Islam. No, that's not the question. It is because we want everybody in Nigeria to have a collective sense of belonging. That is the question. And if I had opposed a Christian ticket, for example, I will not change my faith, certainly. But I will do that because I believe that for Nigeria to be great, all of us must be involved, one way or the other, in making sacrifices across board in order to build the country that we so cherish and love. So that is the challenge before us. Anybody who wants to spread propaganda about the fact that, we are against this because we hate this and hate. No, we are not messengers of hate. Those who are messengers of hate are those who are preaching exclusion. But somebody who is calling for inclusion cannot be a messenger for hate.